Hello and good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm just fine, thank you. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Wow, wow, wow. You in this role. I mean, oh my God. I always knew you were brilliant, but now you're going, yeah, it's me. I'm this good.
Well, you're very sweet. Thank you. Yeah, it's quite a switch. Although, I'm not a killer. Although I was saying earlier that it's fun to play those dark characters sometimes.
To be that actress and to be able to shapeshift like that, I mean that right there is, and then to affect us. Oh my God, that's what I love about the beauty of being an artist is that you understand emotion.
Well, yes, and you have to do research for your roles, so you learn. I'm not just talking about the Dahmer, but just in general, when you're doing a classic or whatever, you have to do an awful lot of research. So it's like an education as
Oh,
well as a profession.
I was going to ask you about that research because I mean that everything that I do, I've got to sit down. I've got to be able to put pieces together. I've got even when I go in and I do voice work for a commercial, I've got to put myself in that place, and research is so important. How did you research for this role?
Well, luckily in television, I tried to find information about her, which is very scarce. There were a lot of kind of home movies of her walking around her house and stroking her cat, and gave me a sense of what she looked like and how she moved. But I did listen to a lot of the Jeffrey Dahmer tapes of him in prison, and some with his father. And it was kind of harrowing, really, because he's a good-looking guy. He was very articulate. Um, he was talking about the most horrendous things that he had done with absolutely no emotion at all. Absolutely detached, analytical, like he was trying to figure it out. So that, to me, was harrowing.
Mentally, how has that affected you? Because I know how much this has affected me as a viewer.
Quite honestly, I can't watch it.
Yep.
I can't. In my earlier marriage years ago, we took in two boys that were one was being abused by his mother, who was a nun, who was burning him with cigarette butts, and he was kind of being passed around the theater. I don't even want to talk about it really, but.
Yeah.
So we took him in, and it wasn't easy because he was so damaged. He had been so abused that he wanted that kind of abusive attention, and we weren't going. All we gave him was love. And I was with him shortly before he died. He died of AIDS eventually, and so I know about these lost kids.
Yeah.
Families are not safe, and they're just prey for these attractive, charming guys who come along and woo them, so to speak. And Dahmer was one of those people who absolutely knew what he was doing.
All right, well, let's go to happier times, such as the 50th anniversary of the Waltons. You guys are doing something very special with this.
We're going to be at the Hollywood Museum live. We're going to be answering questions. I'm donating a beautiful W that was made for me by a fan friend in England. I wish she could be with us. She unfortunately passed away, but I wish she could be with us so she could see that her lovely gift to me is going to be donated to the museum. It's a W with all these little charms sewn on. Every single one has some reference to the Waltons. It's really an amazing piece of work.
Did you know that when you were with the Waltons that it would have this kind of an impact? Because I swear to you that I am a writer because John Boy always wrote. And the family
Really?
value and stuff like that on that show, I totally believe is every reason why I hold true to being faith-filled as well as connected.
I'll tell Richard that. He's going to be here shortly doing To Kill a Mockingbird, and I'll tell him that that he inspired you to be a writer. That means so much. And when people come up to me and say, you showed me how to be a good mother,
Yes.
or your character is what they meant. Your character showed me how to be a good mother. That's a beautiful legacy to have. That you've impacted someone in a very positive way.
Well, and I love the way that these HD channels allow us to watch these old programs. I mean, it's so cool to step off from the cable or off an app and go to like Antenna TV or Me TV, and you get to relive these moments as an older person.
Oh, that's lovely to hear. You know, that's so lovely to hear that. You know, occasionally my husband will watch. He didn't watch it when it was on. He was too busy being a profligate. But he'll catch one every now and then, and I watch it with him. And for the most part, I think that was a really damn good show. It was a classic in its own way, and Earl Hamner did a great job. He was such a lovely guy.
If you hadn't chosen acting as your outlet, your creative outlet, what would you have been? Would you have been a writer? Because creativity is an energy that a lot of people don't understand.
Well, I'm trying to write now. Just my, you know, I sort of, I get letters from. I got a letter from a girl about asking me to write a story about flat world, and so I wrote this little flat story about a flat girl who lived in a flat, you know, that kind of thing. So I have fun with that sort of thing, but mostly I'm trying to write my memoirs, and the one thing I haven't been able to write about is the Waltons. And every day, what you must know as a writer, I wake up and think, I got to get in there, I got to get started, and then I don't. Oh, I have to water the plants, I have to feed the dog, I have to take the dog for a long walk, I have to do this or that, or clean my closets, whatever. But eventually I will write about it because it was a big part of my life.
Yeah. I turned that into what I call a defrag journal. I sit there when I have those moments and I ask myself, what's going on? How you feeling today? Why did you feel like this was more important than this? And all of a sudden, then when those moments that I didn't want to write become moments I do want to write. So it starts with asking myself the questions.
That's very helpful, you know. I'll sit down, and it was a very troubled time of my life when the Waltons came along. I really do feel like it was a gift from a higher power. I didn't deserve to get it because I was a wreck emotionally. I was going through a divorce. I was drinking too much. It was a very difficult time in my life, and it was like God's hand was on my shoulder.
And yet, you would never see that in your eyes on that screen. Never, never, never. I was always calm.
That all quit the minute I got that show, and it put my kids through school and braces, and I'm terribly grateful that I got that break.
Man. Well, I'm just glad that you still continue to give yourself permission to act, because I mean, from the Waltons to where we are right now with the Dahmer story and all that kind of stuff, I mean, you continue to deliver in ways that really do get inside our imaginations and get us to think.
Thank you. That's the nicest thing you could say. Thank you so much.
Please come back to this show again, because I mean, I want to talk to you after your book is written about you, because I want to break it down with you.
Okay. Well, you'll inspire me to sit there in front of that damn computer and see what I can do.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
Those are good questions to ask before you sit down to write. So thank you. That's
you bet.
That's helpful.